Dominic Kishiba Inc. Welcome to the show. Considering well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 15 July 2025. Of course, I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. I am so excited to be back on the tower. We have a couple of videos to do. So we're about to do that right now. And that is pretty much it. So, I'm listening to music. I shouldn't be listening to music because I get copyrighted. Even though it's Convoke, which is a great song. I want to see if the guild have been talking. See, the recorder broke. Ooh, the recorder broke. At least we don't have. We don't have. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm gonna have to restart. AP 13. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tower. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Yeah, so one of the guys his birthday today. So now what we have to do is we have to check don't blink issue blink. Apologize. We had a problem with the recorder. No blink issue blink. Welcome to the Computer Show. Doing well on the 16 July 15 July 2025. I have a couple of videos to do. But hey, we'll take care of it. It's not a big deal. What I have to check out is if we missed. No, we don't. To be honest, I don't really care if we miss anything. When we open, the only thing that we can miss is a lab be finished or missions be finished. So, for example, tomorrow it's going to be important that we logged at the same time. That's pretty much it. I write checks about you and all your back. Now, my mom takes me. Night, mom. Mom. Good. Okay, let's go. You have a good day, Ink. You have a busy day, dude. Fucking go. I have bake. Pa-pa-pum-pa-dum-pa-dum. Good. Okay. Okay, tomorrow. Good. Don't blink, it's your boy, welcome to our show. Having a wonderful day on this 15th July 2025. It isn't the best of sunset on this day, but we're still gonna film it. What a day! We did so much. We did a lot of mobile gaming. We did a lot of posting. It was really good. We finished season 3 of Squid Game. Could be able to do that Squid Game tomorrow, which is great. We have a couple of taste tests to do, which is also super fun to do. And that's pretty much it for today. I don't know what time I'm gonna go sleep because we did wake up at like 4 p.m. So I might be able to squeeze in tomorrow morning and this morning. So this should be freaking cool. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink if you're blink. Welcome to. Oh. Don't blink if you're blink. Welcome to our show. Continuing up to having a wonderful day on this 15th July 2025. Today we are of course filming the sunset. It is late, it is warm as fuck. There's gonna be a couple of videos, so I think it should be fine. Let's have some fun. But most of all, let's do this. You know what's insane? This is a spider and its web is on the phone. It's really nuts. I don't know if you see it. See it, right? I don't even show my man. My mom. Okay. Don't blink, it's your baying. Welcome to our show. Doing well, having a very nice day on this 15th July 2025. Today we are doing a taste test. I am super happy because it's been a while since we did a taste test. We are tasting limited edition Couche-Tard exclusive Mountain Dew Baja Laguna lemonade. So in Couche-Tard, which is a store, which is a convenience store, like a gas station sometimes, they had this exclusive, and it's the Mountain Dew. And this is the summer. They did a promotion where they were like, "Yo, we're gonna have this. It's gonna be limited edition. It's gonna be very. You can buy 3 for $4.50. So that's a cheap. So 3 for $4.50, which is $1.50. We're doing each limited edition. Once again, exclusive product. So this is possibly one of the rarest things I've had. I think I'm gonna keep the bottle. I'm gonna keep the bottle just in case. Anyway, without further ado, let's try it out. Zdrowia. I'm not smelling a lot, to be honest. It smells sweet, but without more. There's almost a small mangoey taste to it, and almost a small mangoey smell to it. Now, Baja Blast is super popular when you go to Taco Bell but I don't have a Taco Bell near me, so I don't go to Taco Bell. Of course, this is straight from their fridge. We went there about 20 minutes ago. Funny story is, we're gonna keep it for later. It's good, to be honest, and I'm not sure. Oh, it's mango lemonade. Mango lemonade. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan. To me, it's good, but it's not great. There's so much going on. There's the Mountain Dew blend, which is delicious. There's like a deep mango flavor, and then there's a citrusy to it. But the citrusy in itself isn't. It's weird because you can easily identify citrusy. A lemon will taste very different than a grapefruit, and both of these will taste very different than a lime, right? So you're trying to understand which one it is, and you don't taste the specific citrus. You understand that it's citrusy, but you don't know how, or you don't know why. So it feels like it's a it feels like it's a it's a emulated sense of bitterness. No, bitterness, sourness. The whole thing actually goes down well. The whole thing actually goes down really well. It isn't super flavorful. It's not something that I am falling in love with, but it's actually pretty good. As a normal drink, like for example, and I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but you go to the store, you go to the fast food, right? And there's a Sprite, a Coca-Cola. You got fountain drinks, and this, if it was a fountain drink, would be super good. However, I think my original impression is as something that I was kind of limited edition. I was like, it's exclusive. I kind of hyped it up. It's not bad, but it's not great. And it's my first Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and I'm happy that I'm tasting it with you guys. So, on that note, love you guys. Peace. I'm the queen of broken heart. Very cute. Okay. Don't blink as you wink. Welcome to the commercial. So doing well for having a wonderful day on this 15th July 2025, and it's actually super hot outside. So what we did was we went to the store to get some special edition, limited edition, exclusive drink, and I just had to buy ice cream because it was so warm. But there's a couple of funniest story with that. So we go to the store and we buy a ice cream, and there's a girl behind me and she's also buying ice cream because again the store does a special because it's warm. So product like ice cream, product like beverage are gonna be cheaper, right? Yeah, they're gonna be cheaper. So then what ended up happening is she left her ice cream on the counter, and I left my ice cream in a bag. So then I took hers, thinking it was mine, and it was like, oh, this is yours. And now she's like, no, it's mine. And I'm like, when I know something funny, and then I showed her the ice cream, which was the same flavor, and she said, pretty fucking cool, and she was cute. I guess I could have taken her number, but again, Inky froze more frosty than an ice cream. They were doing a kind of like a special ice cream discovery. It's an ice cream I did multiple times in the past. So why are we doing it again? It's actually quite simple. The reason why we're doing it again, my apologies, is because first of all, it was delicious. Second of all, It's one of those flavor that is extremely, extremely bland. See, when I think about my favorite Ben and Jerry, I'm thinking about half bake. I'm thinking about cookie dough, right? Those are my all-time favorites for a couple of reasons. The first reason is they're classic. The first reason is they're the first one that I had, right? They have a meaning to me. They have an emotional feeling to it, which is weird because it's ice cream. And then we go and the deeper, we go with Netflix and chill, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then we have some specific one, like ice cream sandwich. And then the idea also came from GMM. They were doing a, what should I call it? They were doing, it's tough. They were doing a Ben and Jerry flavor test, and it was something that it weren't in any category. And I found out the ice cream sandwich was neither one of those that I really enjoyed, neither one of those that I really didn't like Cherry Garcia. So it's like it's just in between. And with the half bake with the cookies and cookie dough, I was stuck with thinking, you know what? These are good. These are kind of like OGs because they're very simple. Ice cream sandwich isn't simple. It's a copy on Oreo. However, there's a couple of cool things because then a lot of people does cookie dough, right? But Ben and Jerry is one of the only one that does half bakes. Now, ice cream sandwich, since everybody does it, you would think that it would be a category. I think that because everybody does it, I think it's a category and it's of its own. Because it's a category of its own, when you come to taste it, something magical will happen. I know how good Häagen-Dazs is. I know how good Oreo is. I know how good Chapman is. Right? But then, it's a battle of who's the best. And this one's pretty good. So, a little recap, because that's not clear. Ice cream sandwich is a special ice cream family. It's a special ice cream, which is worth tasting and retasting and retasting and retasting because of a couple of things. It's different than anything else, first of all. Second of all, it's something that everybody does. So there's a competition, and it's about a question of who we prefer. And lastly, it's one of those flavors that never gets old. And that's why we love it. See, cookie and cream, I can find it sometimes boring. Netflix and chill. Sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like having a salty ice cream. This one, although not my favorite, although never one of my first choice. And the main thing because I was in a situation of, wow, they have it here, just buy it. Yeah, pretty much it. Anyway, picture. And I love you guys, take it easy. In the history. You're too hot. Don't blink, hey shaboink. Welcome to the Computer Show. You guys are doing well. We're having a fantastic day on this 15 July 2025. Today we talk about doing a very quick review of season 3 of Squid Game. Um, However, we're gonna do a season 2 review and a season 3 review because we haven't done it. So, season 1 we're not gonna do it because we did it so often. We watch the show so often. Season 2 to me was amazing. First of all, you're trying to stop the game. Second of all, we have those games. We're familiar with those games. Third of all, there's higher stakes. There's higher stakes because you're trying to protect people. Third of all, the group of people, the cast of player is much nicer in the first season. I got injured at work yesterday. And just season 2 is a bomb. It's a blessing because you had all those characters and they really take the time to explore them more than season 1. Season 3, however, was very disappointing. Didn't really enjoy it. The fact that the VIP are part of it is kind of good, but at the same time, it's like the fun thing was a normal human being desperate for money, desperate enough to kill each other. VIP kill for fun. So one of them has a reason for killing. One of them is killing because he enjoys it, right? Second of all, the whole thing, finding the island, was completely pointless because they only found it at the very end. So it's completely pointless. One of the best characters, which is the salesman, died in episode. No, that's last season. I'm so sorry. It was just boring. See, the game itself felt dragged out. Each game, for example, the game where you have to jump rope, it felt weird because there were so many people. It lasted for so long for 60 people to die, right? And the whole plot behind it was like this guy's gonna push you, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, in the next game, we're blowing on a platform, and then Ji-woon and Coin Guy, he's pushing them, right? Coin Guy is the main villain at the end, just because his girl that had his baby is dead, right? Then he thinks that Ji-woon is behind the reason why she's dead, but no, the game was the reason behind the death. Ji-woon's sacrifice was amazing. There's a couple of saving graces. For example, the number 11, when she puts her gun, but when she sees Ji-woon actually enjoying finishing the game in a noble fashion, she puts the gun down. The fact that we have saved, the fact that there's a happy ending, the fact that everybody's okay, the fact that we find the island and the island is done, and then the shocking at the end where there's this girl who is the next recruiter, so there's possibly not next game. It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic, but at the same time, it felt short. It felt boring. It felt missing. Don't blink if you're buying. Welcome to our show. I hope that having a wonderful day on this 15th July 2025. We have the pleasure of having our very own home theater, right? Sponsored by my lovely neighbor downstairs. However, I don't like the movie, so we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be talking about the day. Why yesterday was such a hard day. So as you guys know, yesterday we did some demo, which is very different than what we're doing. Today we're having a treat. We're having ice cream. We're having Baja Blast because we worked so hard yesterday. So this is a little bit of a reward, right? Why was the day so hard yesterday? Because for a lot of you guys, if you see the video, you thought that I was chilling a lot. Well, here's why it was hard. And I talked about how nice it was this morning, right? And it was nice. She heard me. She offended. Well, but your fucking TV too loud. See, it wasn't an amazing time, but at the same time, in insight, it wasn't the best of days. I feel like I didn't really earn. It's so nuts because I feel like I didn't really earn a paycheck because I could have done more. Now, the done more is the contingency of how much work there was. So, we were supposed to finish the job yesterday, right? We were supposed to finish the job yesterday, and the guy, he's a friend of the family, he's a super nice guy, but he has some bills to pay. I think he had a budget to only hire me yesterday, or to do a small day yesterday and do a small day today, and then I'm there for 2 days because you're in a company, you have your profits, and one of the things that is the most expensive is your labor costs. It is super expensive because got insurance, you got people, you got retreat, you got bonuses, you got paycheck, you got overtime, and a lot. Most of the stores, and that's the craziest thing, most of the stores when they're gonna have a financial problem, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna cut people hours. So instead of having a very full day yesterday, it was a kind of nuts day, but at the same time it was really nice. It was mad that the container didn't come. So we're supposed to have a container to put the garbage there, which is normal demo work. Because we didn't have the container, his friend left, which got him, he was annoyed by that because his friend's like, are you there to help or are you there to do your thing and need to leave, At least wait a little bit until the container comes, right? I think he was annoyed by that, and then he was annoyed at the container, so it was kind of like it was kind of like what you call it? A very touchy subject because he was nice, but I can tell he was annoyed, so you don't want to push it, right? And then I felt bad about not getting being paid for doing nothing or next to nothing, because the job, like I said, it was to take out the tile of the floor. Since he was a bit annoyed, he wanted to do it himself. He wanted to hit with the hammer himself, which is totally understandable. I mean, at the very end, it's totally okay. But I felt like, and then what we did was, first of all, it was very fucking warm. And what we did was we had 4 flights of stairs. And imagine you take down buckets full of garbage, So it was tough. It was tough because you were for a moment not working to a lot of work. And plus, I'm overweighted, so even then, I can walk upstairs normally, but with buckets, it's a bit harder. But then my legs were shot up. It was bad. And you feel bad about it because he's so nice. Like I said this morning, the guy isn't really close to me because I known him for 15 years, and I know his kids. I'm friends with both of his kids. So we had this emotional engagement, right? And I feel bad for him. If it was a boss, not. How can I say that? It didn't sound like an asshole. If it was a huge company, I wouldn't have mind as much. Now, the reason as to why is because big company will have a budget for losses. They'll have a budget every single month for, hey, if shit hits the fan, we're good, we're covered, right? He's a small guy, and I felt bad about that. And at the time, like I said yesterday, I didn't drive, so I couldn't leave without him, And it was kind of far. It was 50 minutes. So then he came and picked me up, which was super nice. And then brought me back. We live somewhat close to each other, so it's easier. But imagine if he has to bring me back half the day and just spend 3 hours and a half on the road, So and then I'm like, hey, let's go down with the floor. We finish the floor. And then his answer was, I want to be finished with the Jeep rock also. He wanted to cut down the walls. So his plan was to leave the beam in on the walls. Cut down the walls is the easiest part, because basically what you're doing is you're cutting down the walls and then you're putting them in a container. Compared to taking down or heading down the wall, cookies and cream with literal Oreos inside. It's harder. And plus, he didn't do the job with his friends. Because he didn't do the job with his friends. His friend is an electrician. And now, he's behind, right? So it's pissed, but at the same time, I gotta say, and that was relaxed. I talked a lot. Physically, bro. And then, it's a normal home. So in the morning, we were at the 4th floor, and it was something humid, very humid. Because what happened was, the day before, a lot of rain, you know? But all in all, it was a great day. It was an amazing day. A bit hard. And then, the lack of job, and this is something that happens a lot. It happened at the flower shop. You guys remember for Mother's Day? You guys remember? If anything happened, it's because there's quiet moments. You want to help because you're getting paid for that, right? You're getting paid to work, not to stand around. So I feel nervous. Like, holy shit. I feel bad because I feel like I'm taking advantage of the situation. And then you also feel bad because you're like, fuck, I mean, take advantage of the situation. And you really feel bad because you could have worked. So the first thing you do is you feel bad. The second thing you do is you're guilty. You feel guilty. So you go and you ask, can I help you? Right? And just like the flower shop, and we're back. Part two of why I said it was so hard on the 15th July 2025. Don't blink, you're waiting. Guys, my phone overheated. So sadly, I think it's gonna happen a lot between the two phones, which is okay, it happens. But it's gonna be harder to make videos because it's so warm. Tomorrow it's even warmer. So, like I was saying, give me a sec. That's good, that's good. We're gonna be posting clips in between. And we're deleting the videos. That's great. So, like I was saying, this is the same thing as the flower shop. Now, the reason as to why we did this at the flower shop was because I felt bad. And the girl, the woman that was hiring me was like, hey, I told you that there's nothing to do. Like, don't you trust me? And I'm like, yeah, but I feel bad. I said, don't feel bad because I'm telling you. But at the same time, I get nervous when there's nothing to do because I feel like I'm taking advantage. I feel nervous. So a great way for people like me, I'm not gonna say with ADHD, but possibly to release some of that nervousness is through just being active, you know? Just being active. It's plus when you start a day of work, a lot of time you're gonna psych yourself up. You're gonna psych yourself up and you're gonna be like, okay, well, guess what? Today is the day I'm gonna do some good work. I wanna work hard, right? People used to tell me at where I worked, they said, how are you such in a good mood? How are you so awake? We're just starting the day. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't come to work asleep, right? You come to work willing to work. Then they said, then we all have our our level of energy, right? Which is completely normal. Completely normal. So with yesterday, I felt like I was kind of pressuring him into give me some work. And the goal wasn't that, but it's because, you know, oh, for fuck's sakes. You see? This phone is gonna be too hot. This phone closed because it was gonna be too hot, and now this phone closed. This is gonna be too hot. Right? So there's a problem. It is a problem, but hey. What can we do? So yeah, I felt like I was pressuring him into asking him, can I help, right? And that can be annoying because, like, yeah, but there's nothing to do. I know that you want to help, but at the same time, if there's nothing to do, you cannot do nothing. At least he said I was a good understanding because his daughter also has hyperactivity. So he understood why I was acting the way I was acting, right? At the same time, there's nothing to do. And then it's odd because it's really funny in one way, but not so much because he's also a hard worker. So not seeing I personally think that he didn't see the I think he didn't see the container coming. So I think he got nervous, and possibly him being nervous decided to work was the way to unstress himself. And basically there was only one we could do. Because again, we were waiting for the container. It was just taking out the tile from the floor, which is very, very basic work. See, the thing that how can I say that? My father said this, and I was offended yesterday. Yesterday we had a fight yesterday, and that sucks because Sunday was such a good day. We played games together. It was such a good day. But then there was a little fight yesterday because he said some fucked up things. For example, the guy that saw me, he said, "What did he see? What did he say when he saw you?" What my father meant, like, "Oh, you gained a lot of weight." You must have made a comment about your weight. And my father says this and he's smiling. So the guy said that I had gained some weight. Of course, I would gain some weight. I gain in 40 years. I gain like 100 plus pounds. But I'm not gonna give my father this satisfaction. So I said, no, I didn't say nothing. And my father says, well, he taught it, but he never said what it is. So he said, okay, what was he supposed to? I said to my father, what was he supposed to tell me? My father, he didn't want to say it because I don't think he knew that this wasn't right. He made a comment like that, and I said, no, say it, you know. And lately, he's been making a lot of comments. My father is like that. He's gonna be, and I love my dad. I love him, but when he's feeling distressed about something, and it's such a shame because. And this, I know this has nothing to do with the video, but at the same time, the guy and my fathers are really close. The guy that I was working for yesterday, they're really close. They're almost the same age. There's a couple of years difference. His oldest son is my age. You know, they both live in a Sheen. They have nothing in common. So, my father, we had a couple of months where it was really nice. It was really, really nice. And then, like I said, I lost my job. And since I told him that, he's on my case. He's gonna be passive aggressive. You know, and it sucks. For example, yesterday it's like, oh, you need a job where you don't think. And ultimately speaking, I agree with that. I agree. So the job that I had was automatic. The 8 years job was automatic. It was look at a piece. Is there something that's broken? Okay, it's broken. If it's not broken, you can put it in the machine. You have an order, so you know that you have 220. You know that per boxes there's 30 pieces. Example. So you know that's about 30 to 20. That's about 7.3 boxes. So 7 boxes and a third of a box. So you had some mathematics, but apart from that, there was nothing. And yes, it was a job that was fun, but which is a bit of fun because you didn't have to think, and you don't want to think the whole day. You want to have some sort of a mental freedom, right? So you can physically be stuck in a place. You can physically. This is important too. This is listen to this. This is important. You can physically be stuck in a place, in a workplace, for hours upon hours upon hours, right? But as long as you're mentally there, you're good. This morning we are talking about. I'm gonna do a sort of. I'm gonna do a sort of leap over here. But yeah, I do mean it. Oh, today we can buy a module. Yeah, I'm gonna do a stream of just module, which is nice. Because we have a mission for that on the tower, so that's gonna be super cool. It was a bit of a shame because he's kind of right. You don't want to be stuck mentally. We talked about Fight Club this morning. See, ADHD. Well, we did have a Mountain Dew which contained caffeine, and we have some ice cream. So my level of energy is through the roof. But at the same time, it was just nice. It was just nice because we talked about Fight Club. And it's about a dude. You guys know the story about Fight Club. It's about a dude who has mental issue. He has insomnia, right? And because he has insomnia, he's unable to sleep. So with his job, it's just a constant routine. He's constantly doing the same thing. And even if he lacks some sleep, he can still do that. So he has this mental freedom, which is why he creates all these plans because he's thinking about it. He's thinking absent mentally. If you give me a job in which I can focus, I have to focus 8 hours, I might not be able to do it, right? I might not be able to do it. I might be able to focus an hour and a half at a time, but then I'll need something, right? And again, you cannot give me a job. And this, I'm going to be blaming ADHD, which is sort of an excuse, but not really. So you're going to have a job where you're going to do the same thing the whole day, once you get bored, right? So you're going to do different pieces, which is why the last job that I had was perfect because you had different pieces. The context was the same. The idea behind it was the same. But it was completely different. You know what I mean? So yes, it was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a mess. But then, even if he's right, you don't tell your son you need a job where you don't think. Because that's just rude. And I'm big on intent, right? I'm big on intent. But then you're like, okay, well, you didn't mean to be a dick, but you've been a dick the whole day. So there's a part of you that wants to be a dick. You know? And then my father's honest. Did the guy have these thoughts about me yesterday? Yes, he called me fat, but he didn't judge me for it. He was like, he's like, oh, you need to lose some weight. So this is why we're eating ice cream today. Because fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want, you know? But yeah, he was like, yeah, you need to lose some weight. And I agree with that, but do I need to lose some weight? Absolutely, yes. But the planning, well, you saw me train. So you know that's true. So the thing is, I film everything. So when I'm eating junk food like today, you guys are seeing it. When I'm working out, you guys are seeing it. Right? Now, the reality with it is, and my brother's the same way. I'll mention 2, 3, 4, 5 times the same day. And the first time, okay, this is your opinion, I respect it. Second time, I'm like, yeah, I know. Third time, I'm like, okay, well, I understand that this affects you because you want the best for me. But I understand. The fourth and fifth time, you kind of not get mad, but it gets nonsensical. I'm like, I'm right here. What am I supposed to do? You want me to go home to run for 100 kilometers, lose 10 pounds tomorrow? It's not possible. So you're stressing over things that, first of all, it's not your business. If I'm fat, that's my business. Second of all, you're stressing over something that has no consequences on your life. There's a plane that crashed in the country, which is super sad. But then at the same time, it could have been a plane that you were in that crashed. The fact that you weren't in that plane is, in itself, is a blessing. You guys all saw the movie Final Destination? A pin drop can kill you. A pin drop. Should you be afraid of a pin drop? No. Should you be aware that the pin drop can kill you? Yes. When you saw that somebody got killed by this same pin drop, your first thought is that's super shameful. The second thought was like, well, how precious life is, right? This is no instance of your life. This is, I'm a plane crash in another country. It has nothing to do with you, first of all. Second of all, it's nuts because you're expecting me to do something, and then you're like, holy shit, you don't want to do it. So for example, the guy yesterday, it was like, what are you actively doing for working out? And I told him the truth. I said, listen, I said the hard part with losing weight is I'll be super good for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll have great result. But then I'll have a moment of distraction, a moment where I'll have a nice meal, and then I'll have a second nice meal. It's consistency that's hard. It's not hard work. It's hard. It's consistency. It's being consistent with the way that I have to lose. I would have to be consistent for 1 year, 2 years possibly. That's really hard to do, you know. And then that morning, it was like, hey, because I brought my lunch, and I don't eat a lot during dinner because I was like, okay, well, I don't know how long we're gonna be here. I don't know if I'm gonna do a full day because we didn't talk about it. So then I was like, I'm gonna eat breakfast. So for breakfast we had sausage, 2 bread, and some mayonnaise. So when I came in, we had submarine, but I already ate. And he was like, you don't eat a lot. And then that's where you see that he's the nice guy. He said, that's why you don't eat a lot. And how similar it is to my father. It's kind of crazy. I think about my father a lot. We have this good relationship, but when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. So he's like, oh, you don't eat a lot. Is it because I told you that you were fat? He asked me, did it make you self-conscious? Which is a super nice thing to say. Super nice because he's like, okay, well, that wasn't the goal. And if I did, I'm sorry. That wasn't the goal at all. And I'm like, no, don't worry. I ate the breakfast. And then he says, let me guess, junk food. And I'm like, what? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that's not. You were just nice a couple seconds ago. What just happened? So then, in my brain, I'm still defiant. I'm still like, again, it's not something that's your problem. It's my problem. So as a fuck you, I said, yes, I ate 4 Pop-Tarts. And then he reacted. And I told him, listen, I'm joking. I didn't eat 4 Pop-Tarts. And it's like, yeah, now you feel guilty because you told me. But if I didn't say something, if I didn't make you feel guilty, you would still have ate those 4 Pop-Tarts. I'm not joking. There was this guy that made a comment last week, right? And this guy, me and him, we've been talking for a year. Not every single day, but still. He writes me comments in English, right? And he wrote me a comment in English, and I come in, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to speak English. Like, I know my content is English. I know my content is English. Ultimately, I don't give a fuck. If you want to speak in French, you're allowed to speak in French, right? So as a joke, I do a French accent. And then he made in the comments like, yo, this was not funny. This was offensive. These people have expectation of you, but they're inconsequential to your life. The person, although he's friend of the family, he is right in being worried about me. Of course, that's a nice thing to do. And then even yesterday, it was super nice. It was like, hey, mon petit loup. Mon petit loup is like, hey, son. Mon petit loup is my little wolf, which is an endearing term, right? I think it seems to be kind of as a nephew or something like that. So he's right, but ultimately speaking, he isn't there. He isn't there. If I was to make an effort to change my life around, he's not going to be there. I'm not also expecting him to be there, right? The person that asked me, why did you take a French accent? It was offensive. Bro, it's a joke, okay, first of all. Second of all, this is my content. It's not like you're there every single day. And it's not like you're there every single day and I owe you something. For example, Janice is going to tell me something. He's going to tell me, hey, you said something and I didn't appreciate that or I didn't agree with it. And because it's Janice, I trust him. So I'm going to look it up. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, maybe the way I expressed myself wasn't clear because there's nothing wrong here. because the Janice and Janice, we interact almost every single day, I have a feeling of, okay, well, guess what? This guy is an active part of your life. Let's give him the respect that he deserves. Let's give him the also the benefit of the doubt. So when I say let's give him the benefit of the doubt to someone, right? It's a beautiful thing, because you just wanted the benefit. You just wanted the benefit of the doubt, and you're like, okay, well, I don't think I said anything wrong, because I trust you, and you said, yo, that was wrong. I wanted to look at it, right? And even then, if I like you enough, I'll apologize. And this can seem very misconstruing, so very disingenuine, or very two-faced. But at the same time, I can apologize for something that hurt your feeling more than what I said. Your When you say something, right, your opinion can change. I'm viewing this right now as something. There's already change that changed. Some opinion that I had when I started making content that changed, because we've been making content for a while, and that changed. And then sometimes I'm like, yo, what you said was wrong. What you said was wrong. When I talk about Janice is super good with that. Janice is gonna be sort of the it's gonna sound like an asshole, but it's kind of like the moral police. Janice is, and this is gonna be sounding so stupid, but Janice is kind of like the, you see the little in cartoons, you see like the little angel on your shoulder and the little devil. Janice kind of like that little angel. It's like, yo, this was not nice. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Just let me do that. But a guy that's not been around and isn't around, do I say your opinion doesn't matter? No, but at the same time, we don't really know each other, so you might not have perceived it as a joke, but it's a joke. And even then, you got offended at something that was clearly not offensive, right? And ultimately speaking, if my joke wasn't good, right? If my joke wasn't good, that's my fault. But I didn't point finger towards you. I wasn't like, oh, this fucking guy is French, so I'm going to speak in French. I was like, we usually speak in French, so I'm going to try to speak English, right? But you got offended. And did I feel bad about him getting offended? Yes. Did I feel bad about him getting offended? Absolutely. I felt bad because I was like, bro, that's a joke, like, chill. And it was a part of me like, oh my God, why is he offended? There's a part of me like, bro, say sorry because you hurt his feelings. Even though you didn't mean to, you did, right? Now, why is that all that is important is the way you treat people is very important. The way you treat people is extremely important. Doesn't matter how close they are to you. Doesn't matter how far they are from you. Like, for example, today, I got a couple people reaching out. So one of the girls, she felt bad because she didn't come to the Twitch stream. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm grateful we're friends. There was another girl, and she actually came in, and she was like, yo, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy lately. How are you? And I was like, wow, that's really sweet, right? And ultimately speaking, these people were not super close, but the action is very kind. The action is very kind. Like, the guy that I worked for yesterday, emotionally speaking, we're not that close, but he cared about me. We're not that close, but I care about him. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And, because he's somewhat so similar to my father. See, this is something I'm going to say that's going to be very bad. But again, this is my opinion. This is my video. With my mom, I've never had that. I never had another person that I had a motherly affect towards me. I had older chick take care of me. For example, there was this girl, I was in class with her in bakery, and she offered me a job. Now, she offered me a job to a bakery that wasn't completed. So like, well, I got you this job for bakery, but the bakery's not ready yet. So why am I here? Why am I with you? You know? I've had that, but never have I if I saw somebody as a mother figure. However, since me, my father was so lucky when I was younger, I had a lot of people that are father figure. As I had some teacher I had with him, with the guy that yesterday, not a father figure, but at least an uncle figure, right? So there is some feelings towards him. There's a feeling of I appreciate you, but I also value you as a older member of my circle. My circle being my world, my universe. This is crazy, but when you look at it from the extremely misogynistic point of view, you're gonna see a girl, right? You're gonna see a girl, and you're gonna be able to say, yeah, she's a friend, or I'm interested. You're gonna see a girl, you're gonna be able to say, I want to fuck, or I actually want to date, right? And yes, it's a bad thing because you shouldn't see people as two options. They're more than just that, but it's something that happens. I think there's a natural selection that happens for everybody. I think there's a natural selection that happens for your friends. Are we close friends? Or are we super, like, we're just normal friends? Like me and Chao. Like, there's a reason why we're still friends, because I knew right away that he's a great guy. So when it came to him, I was really, not careful, but I was really cautious about not being a total dick. You know? We all have bad days. We all have bad days where we're not ourselves. We all have bad days where we might say something that's not cool. But then, even on a bad day, you're able to say like, oh man, I fucking like this guy, so I'm gonna be careful not to say something, even though I'm in a pissy mood, even though I'm in a bad mood, even though I want to fucking burn the world. I want to be nice to this guy because he deserves it. He's a nice guy, you know? But all in all, and it's again, it's a factor of comments, and those comments are little digs. So, for example, my father yesterday. Now, I'll be completely honest. When I came to his house, I was tired. Doesn't help. I have less patience when I'm tired. But I went to my father's house yesterday, and this, I'm gonna sound like such an asshole. And I am apologizing in advance. I am apologizing in advance as to what I'm gonna say. Today, my father had his operation. You guys know how worried I was. 2 days ago, I filmed a video. And the video was like, I just want to be a good son. I just want to be a good son. Because my parents are getting older and I want to help them. But then, my father had this operation today. But it treated me like such garbage yesterday. That was like, I kind of don't want to hear about you today. You had an operation, I'm sorry. But I don't feel like talking to you today because you were such an asshole yesterday. Which is totally an asshole move because it's so important to him. But this is also like a breakup, right? You have this girlfriend and you guys are really close. And then she has this recital, right? And then she has this concert, right? And then before the concert, she breaks up. And she hurts your feelings, she breaks your heart. And then she has this concert and you know how much this means to the girl. Do you go to the concert or you don't go? This is it. My father, the second I came in, again, I'm talking to him, and he's like, I have to pee. Now, when I came to my father's house yesterday, for 2 reasons. First of all, we finished earlier. Second of all, this is actually a really complex story, but you guys, I have 3 things. So we have the keys, but I also have an intercom. So the keys, we lose them. So what we do, the phone is super important. So what we do is we bring the phone, and I got a system where you can call the phone. So yesterday, I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna be far. If I forget the key or I lose the key there, I don't have a way to get back there. So I brought the phone because I knew the phone was gonna be on me. However, because there was not a lot of work, I'm like, I need batteries to be home. I need batteries. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta piss. He's like, okay, well, go upstairs because your shoes are dirty. I said, Dad, I have to charge the phone. He said, no, go upstairs. Your shoes are dirty. Dude, my shoes are dirty. I can take off my shoes. Hello? But again, you know, it's his house. It's his rules. I respect it. So I went to pee upstairs, and then I went downstairs to plug my phone. The same thing. And then we go out because I'm like, and ask him what was he doing. Because again, I worked hard that day. He worked hard that day. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna ask him how it went. He's telling me about what he's doing, and then I see that he has a fan, right? And his fan is actually pretty cool because it can fold. So when you fold it, you don't have a fan. It takes less space. When you unfold it, you have a fan, right? It was pretty cool. So I asked him about that, and I said, "Oh, it's a foldable fan." And he said, "No, you can open it and then it'll become a fan." It's the same thing, dude. But then again, he was in a bad mood. I understand. I respect that. Then we leave the apartment on the top from the second level because he has a duplex. And he said, "Did you close the door?" I said, "No, I didn't touch it." He said, "I told you not to close the door." He go upstairs, see that I didn't touch the door. Then he said, "Oh, what did the guy say about you?" And I'm like, what do you think he's gonna say? I'm fat. Funny thing is, I have this cousin, right? And he has a lot of self-confidence issues. And he's a good guy, but he has self-confidence issues because it's a complex story. There are 3 kids. There's 3 kids. The first one is very emotional, but she's making an effort now. She's a stepmom, and she's really good. She's really fucking good, and she made a lot of progress. I applaud her. I really am impressed with how much of a effort she makes, and how much of a she used to be. We would go there once every 2 weeks, and she would storm out twice, 3 times at night. It was a fucking mess. So then I have my second cousin, which we're close in age, so we're closer. He's May 1993. No, May 1992. I'm January 22, January 1993. 8 months difference. And then I have my third cousin, which is the one with a lot of self-confidence issues. And because, why did he get bullied as a kid? Because he was a darling baby. It's always about, that's a complicated story. This is a fucking long story, but long story short, there's this thing. I'm not gonna say is everybody the same, but a lot of people say the second child is a forgotten one. Like the oldest child is the firstborn, the last child. They're the 2 that get the most attention. Everything in the middle gets a little less attention, right? So he comes in, and all of the attention is on the youngest, which is my cousin. Now, the first cousin, she doesn't give a fuck because she's rebellious. She's like, "Get her asshole. I want to be in this family. I want to leave." She's temperamental. She's emotional. Doesn't care. The third kid, who didn't ask his parent to love him more, getting bullied by the middle child because he wants the attention, right? And then, as a kid, I have to say I was a bully too. I was a bully too, because my favorite cousin was when I was close to me in age. Very, very favorite cousin. He was a gamer. I was a gamer. We're closer in age. It's into the same music. So when he would get into a fight with his younger brother, I would get into the fight. And it's like, "Yeah, you don't touch him. That's my bro. You're nothing to me. You're a cousin. He's my bro." So we get into the bullying. Now, at the same time, did I do some bullying? No. Was I there every single day? No. But I was still a shitty cousin. Yes. So because of that, he became very baby, very cherish. So on one side, he was protected. He was able by the mom, which is my aunt. On the other side, he was very self-conscious because of the bullying. So yeah, so this was bad. So then what ended up happening was he he had a lot of self issues. So out of the three cousins, my cousin, my oldest cousin, the middle, and the child, the first one to leave the house was a child because he was the most stable. Got a good job. He went to an apartment, right? Which was kind of crazy, but when he left the house, he was like, well, I don't like you two, because first of all, you're emotional. Second of all, you're emotional, you bully me. And the father was getting mad at the kid because the mom was protecting him a lot. So the father didn't like. And then my cousin, he never brought a girl home. And I can understand that. Did I bring girls home? Absolutely. Or a couple of girls home. But Hemi didn't, because it was like, if I like the girl, no way I'm bringing her here. I don't like it here. I don't feel safe here. I'm going to bring somebody that I love. So my uncle asked me if it was gay. Full on Christmas dinner, imagine. By the way, my youngest cousin was born when? 26th December. It's your birthday and 3-4 hours, and your father asked you, are you gay? And my father, he told me that, and like, oh my god, your uncle is so bad. That's so fucking bad because he said that. But then, with yesterday, he did the same thing, and it's not the first time. It's not the first time he said, oh, you gained some weight, you're fat. And anytime I see him, oh, you need to lose some weight. Dude, you never had to lose some weight. Which, congratulations, you got some discipline. Congratulations. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know how hard it is. And this is something I'm gonna say that is not nice to say. My stepmom, when they met, she was overweight. Not as much as me. She was a bit overweight. I'm 50, 60 pounds overweight. She was 15, 20 pounds overweight. And my father was very secure about that. If somebody looked at them, it was like, oh my god, you look at my girlfriend, you look at my wife. Not my girlfriend. Because she's overweight. And I'm like, imagine if somebody said the thing that you're saying to me to her, you would have fucking freaked out. You would have fought. And I was supposed to take it like a bitch and say nothing. You know? Yeah, it's hard. Because then I get angry. And we talked about this before. I get angry, but then I have to justify why I'm angry. That's the thing. I'm seen as a nice guy, which I try to be. I'm not a nice guy. So when I'm not nice, I have to justify myself. The person that's an asshole every single day doesn't have to justify himself. So I get angry. Like, oh my god, you reacted. Or for example, I ask him, Dad, listen, because, okay, this is complex also. Or the last thing, you know? The last thing. And this is going to be a very touching video, hopefully. I had my bike delivered. You guys saw the video, we fixed it. And my plan was to go home with the bike. The original plan was to go home, not finish the job, but my phone was dead. Why? Because it didn't work that much. Because it didn't work that much, I was on my phone a lot. I didn't bring a second battery, so I didn't bring the keys. I just didn't think I was gonna work. My phone was dead. So I'm like, I'm gonna charge my phone a little bit, I'm gonna go on bike, in and out. But then because I had to change my shoes, because I couldn't go down before I wiped myself because I had dust, which is normal, I couldn't go down. So this took me longer to charge, right? Which is normal, the phone. And then, on Sunday, which is before yesterday, it was raining a lot. It was raining a shit ton. And it was raining a shit ton. And give me a lift. And then the lift itself at first. This is stupid. I'll never understand that. When I go to my father's house, it's 15 minutes walking. Right? When he has to go to my place, it's 3-4 minutes by car. 3-4 minutes by car. Oh. We have freaking fireworks. I don't know if this camera pick it up. Pick it in. I thought it was screaming. They're having a party on a Tuesday afternoon. Hell yeah. Well, Tuesday night. Tuesday night, not Tuesday. Tuesday. So he's always having a problem with going to my house. Always having a problem too. I can walk 45 minutes, but he's not gonna walk. He's not gonna drive for 4 minutes. This was the cause of a lot of problem when I first came to the apartment. Was the cause of a lot of problem. He never wanted to come to the apartment. Because, oh, I'm comfortable at home. I don't like to go out. Okay, I understand that. That's okay. You're not comfortable outside? Completely fine. But you can't ask always people to come to my place. There's this Kirby Enthusiasm episode about that. He has meetings, so it's Larry David who has meeting with George Alexander. And George Alexander is like, yo, let's use my office. And like Larry's like, oh, well, that's a bit far for me. It's like, no, let's use my office. So he's like, okay, no problem. And then when he does, the time he's like, yo, I went to your office before. Let's go to my office. Right? That's what it was, which is funny. Oh. So then, to come back to the subject at hand, it was kind of nuts because I was bitten by a mosquito. He never woke up my house. And I'm like, Dad, it's 5 minutes of your life, right? I'm in fucking pain. And I'm told that. So, the day after, I was supposed to have my bike. So the original plan was to leave, get my things, and then, leave, do the bicycle, take care of it at home. You fix it, we fix it together, we build it together, we're done. So then, what ended up happening was, like, the bike wasn't good. So I Dad, can you give me a lift? It's like, okay, no problem. The next day, I have a hard day. What I'm not saying is, and this is embarrassing, but with the overweight, yesterday, at the end of the day, at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we finished at 2:30. I had to walk the stairs on 4 ends. So my normal legs and my hands on top of a couple of stairs, so that way I can support my weight because my legs are done. And then he opens the door and I have to stand up straight because I don't want him to think that I'm tired, or I don't want him to think that I'm not capable of working. Because I want to work for him again, of course. Right? So then, it's nuts. Because I'm in pain. And I tell my father, Dad, I'm really in pain. Can you give me a lift, please? I said, please. He's like, oh, well, don't make it a habit. I'm like, you know what? I'll walk in pain, no problem. And he said, okay, don't forget your phone. Hello? You understand? So yeah, so today I was pissed. And he had his operation, so I'm like, fuck. I do not want to talk to you. But then, and at the same time, it's such a fucking mess. Because yes, I love my father. And yes, I'm worried about him. In a couple of days, I'm gonna laugh about this story. I'm gonna laugh about it. I'm like, oh, I'm so dumb. But for now, you're kind of like a shitty person. You know? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But then at the same time, and we had this discussion before, like years or months ago, I don't remember. And do I pretend like I care? Or I'm mad at you and I say, oh, you know what? I'm sorry about your operation. And I text you and I pretend like I care. Which is, to me, this is not nice. Do I care? Yes. Do I care at this moment? No. No. Because we had a fight because you're such an asshole yesterday. But if I don't call, I'm an asshole. So I'm an asshole if I don't call, I'm an asshole if I pretend. My apologies. You know? That's not the worst of things. That's not even close to the worst of things. The worst of things, my apologies, is that, you know, I'll regret if I don't call him. My parents are like that also. I'll have to call them. And then when I call them, like, hey, let's talk. And I'm like, dude, we talked yesterday. I love you guys, but I just don't have anything to say. We don't have to talk every single day. And then they're worried or they just want to talk. And then they need this attention. See, we're both pretty lonely. My mom, she's lonely because she's single. She's lonely. My father, the second his girlfriend isn't around, I'm called. Hey, you wanna come over? Matt's not there. You know, the second she's leaving, hey, come over. I'm alone. Bro, you'll be okay alone. You're gonna be okay. You're not gonna burn. Okay? You'll be okay. If I say that, I'm an asshole. You know? So yeah. And then to finish, what pissed me off the most is that Sunday we had such a good night. So, I don't know about you guys, but let's say I'm seeing the person, right? And the last time I saw them was a great night. I'm gonna be excited to see them. Maybe I'm fucked up, maybe I'm weird. Anyway, the rant is done. Love you guys, take it easy. Peace. In my room, do anything for you. Don't blink. Buying. Welcome to the show. Having a wonderful day. Today we're doing a senseless, a pointless video. So, as you guys saw, we film a lot. Outside, inside, and what happened is this little beauty tend to overeat. Overheat, not eating. Eat the weather, the temperature. So then, what I decided to do, in my grand scheme of things, is to get some ice packs. However, we bought some cheap ice pack with some plastic. And the thing that I didn't think about is this plastic can actually be break. If there's a hole in this plastic, the whole liquid, which is a specific liquid for that, is gonna empty. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in, right? I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna do myself a little protection, a little condom. The ID was from a condom. So, when using a knife, of course, be careful, please. There we go. Perfect. And then, let's do by hand. We're gonna do this. Perfect. We left a little bit of extra. Why? Well, first of all, we can decide how we fold it. Do I want like that? Like that? Look at this. This is perfect. Now, I brought some good old masking tape. A gift from my ex-job. That way the phone will cool down in my room. Do anything for you. Now you see, it's a bit harder because, first of all, the plastic is a bit colder. Second of all, the plastic is a bit wet. So this isn't waterproof. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A reinforced condom ice pack. The plastic was found in my garbage. The tape was found at work. So when you want to be cheap, you can be cheap. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Do anything for you. Ink Vendetta. What is Sigma? Mosquito. What did I do? Don't blink as you're buying kittens. Somebody once told me the world ain't gonna rule me.
I have a gift for you to commemorate this day, Princess Nadia.
Max Oixy.
Ah ouais, gesticule!
Mosquitoes are hanging around. What video can we do? What video can we do? Wi-Fi Club is the best piece of content. All sacrifices, how hard a job was, my budget rejecting. YouTube article for gaming, Gundam Life. Oh, play. Okay. Don't blink. It's your buying. Welcome back to the show. Just doing well to having a wonderful day on this 15 July 2025. You guys, today we're doing a special video and I am so excited about this. Now, technically speaking, this is not a reaction. We did a lot of reaction lately. I was thinking about doing reaction to this specific video. Nice little mosquito killed. Sorry, my love. Sorry, my heart. I was thinking about doing a reaction, but then it's kind of convoluted. So today is July 15th. We're gonna do a special video. I'm super excited because I like talking about history, right? So I live in an old town. It's a small town, but it has a lot of history. I like talking about it. I like about the story of my life, story of gaming, shit like that. But I've never, and I mean ever, talk about a historical moment on YouTube. And drumroll please, the moment that we're talking about is the 15th July 2025. Whoa, I don't know what it is. July 15. I don't know what it is. What year was it? Well, it was 2018. Yeah, because we were working. So today we're talking about Fusi Con. which is kind of like cool because we're gonna go in a sort of a story track. Now, this the recap. First of all, I've been reacting to a lot of videos lately, so I'm not done with the reaction. I'm not tired of it, but I don't want my content to only be that, right? Second of all, it'll be a little bit of a mental. It's a little bit of a mental exercise to come back to reaction. Most of the content I could find to react to was from haters, from clown, from drama alert. So a lot of those things, they were against Fusi a little bit. Now, I'm not an historian, right? This was important for me for a couple of reasons, which we're gonna get into a little bit later on, if I'm being honest. But it's just one of my favorite things on YouTube. Why? Well, first of all, right, I started working on the 18th July 2028, 2 days after this event happened. My first day at the longest job that I had, which was 8 years, which is closed right now, sadly. I would still be there otherwise. The longest, the first day of work that I had, I listened to FouseyTube, Nazareth Reality. Now, before we start, what's important? Well, again, first day I'm working, I'm listening to this. Second of all, it was technically speaking the first YouTube documentary I ever saw. Now with the streaming, I think a lot of it in the back of my mind or in background. By the way, if you didn't notice yet, I'm not English. I'm always translating. This is why my speech is so weird. Thank you for noticing. Why is Fousey important to me? Fousey is important to me because we share the same birthday. I was born 22nd January 2025. I don't know his year, but it's 22 January. I'm 22 January 1993. I have the same birthday. When you look at the celebrities on my birthday, he's the most relatable one. Was I ever a fan of Fousey? See, Fousey was weird because I was watching shit like Angry Grandpa. I was watching shit like Meg Jugger and Gatsu. When I started watching YouTube, then there was always this Roman Atwood, girlfriend versus boyfriend, and then you really had to know the lore. I'm gonna say something that I don't mean as a bad thing. Something with a shadow like Frank versus girlfriend. You really had to follow the show, not the show, but the different videos, right? Or for example, also YouTube at that time was a lot of skits. For example, one of the most popular channel at that time was freaking Epic Mealtime. And Epic Mealtime was a video for 10 minutes, right? Completely unrelated. Roman Atwood was more so vlogging content, so you could watch them, right? And then one of the only one I would watch was Fousey. Now, why did I watch Fousey? Because Fousey was different. Fousey was going to be he's living an homeless person. He constantly had a struggle between this fame and this normalcy. My personal issue was a struggle between good and evil. I was raised very differently. My mom, which is super kind, my father, which is sort of an honest asshole. Super nice, super kind, a good dude. However, if he doesn't like you, he's gonna tell you, I don't like you. My mom's like, I'm not gonna not talk to you. My father's like, fuck you, I don't like you. So, in my childhood, I was stuck in between. When I had my father, who has a lot of success in life and he's very respected, or my mom, who is beloved. What do I want? The respect or the love? Which again was a situation of evil versus good. Love is good. Respect sometimes is evil. You don't respect you respect somebody because they're successful. You don't love them because they're successful, right? So Fousey was that. And then, but ultimately speaking, I didn't really follow him. He was entertaining for a couple of videos. Now, Fousey was actually one of the most important person, in my opinion, on my YouTube history. Why? Well, first of all, he was this guy that was watching, that started exposing prank content, how fake it was, and how everything was faked. Now, I, as a young watcher, we're talking about 14, 15, was victim of bullying. So this whole story of prank to me was like, holy shit, this is not good because the famous is just a prank, bro. Fuck you. So I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this whole mentality of pranking a complete random stranger, right? So by exposing that, you kind of put a dent, because everybody was doing that. Everybody was doing that. Fake drama, Rice Gum, Logan Paul, people like that, right? And then you kind of expose it, and I was like, okay, well, this is super refreshing. This is low-key, high-key refreshing. Then, this was at my parents' house. Then I moved out of my parents' house, and I live at my mom's house. So my dad was the person that raised me. My mom raised me also, but my mom had me 2 days out of 12, 2 days out of 14. So my father was the person that was in charge of everything. So I go to my mom's house. My mom's house is very much of a lovely mother, but very enabling. You want to eat 4 slices of pizza, Steph? No problem. Which is why I got super fat. So I come in the apartment, and I'm like, okay, well, my mom is a slave to her work. My father isn't a slave to his work. My mom was a slave to her work because she was the person that you rely on. Hey, it's this person's birthday. When can you pick up the cake? My mom doesn't drive. Can you pick up the cake? Bro, I'm not fucking driving. How am I supposed to take the cake? But she was too nice to say no. So I go to my mom's house. In my mom's house, I get a lot of weight. So my mom, again, a slave. My father was the same thing, but worse. My father had a mentality of a 9 to 5, but he was so proud of his job, so proud of his work, that he kept on talking about his work. So I was like, dude, you're at home. Talk about the family, not talk about work. You know, so my father, just like me, was very vocal, so very much of a talker. Now, the problem with that is that it was a case of, I thought both of my parents, and I was like, they aren't living to work, they aren't working to live, they're living to work. I'm like, fuck no. This isn't me. This shouldn't be you, but it's not me. So I got home, right? And I'm broke. When I say broke, I'm not broke. I have $2,700 in the bank. My rent is $475. I buy food from Dollarama. I swear to God. I watch manga on an application where you can download manga. I am listening to the radio. I am playing emulator. Why? Because this allowed me to take a full year off, my sabbatical years, before I started really working. And I had enough money. I never had to work one day. And then, guess what I did? I had a gym. My whole life was gym. And I got back into shape. Now, here's this crazy story. I buy this phone, right? And this is my first real phone. It's a Sony Xperia V2. And I'm downloading freaking videos. And I'm learning Rich Piana and everything like that. Because, again, I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with losing weight. I'm obsessed with weightlifting. At the time, my goal is to be a bodybuilder. I'm 20 years old. So my entire watch history is Rich Piana. Rich Piana was a god to me. Why? He was swearing, he was tattooed. He was everything I wanted to be. I was watching the Arch Twin because the Arch Twin was just funny. They were just fucking funny. And then we had Fousey. And I remember Fousey and I was like, holy shit. And Fousey did like, oh, I lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, dude, this is actually what I'm trying to do. And I knew we had the same birthday. So I'm like, holy shit. This is my motivation. So I started following Fousey. Then again, I lose Fousey. I lose sight of Fousey because the problem with Fousey is that he's inconsistent. He'll work fucking hard for 1 year, post videos twice, 4 times a day, but he'll disappear. Now, I want you guys to understand something. I don't have Wi-Fi at home, so the whole of 15 July 2025, I have no clue. And when I say no clue, I mean no clue what the fuck they are talking about. I have no freaking clue. In my mind, it's a normal day until I start seeing something. And this, you're not gonna believe how crazy of a story this is. You're just not gonna believe this, because this is easily one of the craziest story ever. I have this job. At that time, I'm working. Like I said, I'm working for this company that I worked for a while. But at that time, I'm working for an agency. So the agency sent me there, and I know that I'm not there to make friends because the agency is sending me to a different place. One day, on Monday, I'm working at this place. On Tuesday, I'm working at this place. So because I'm only there for a little bit of time, what I start doing is I start downloading music. And I'm like, okay, holy shit, this 15th of July, I have no clue what this is. And I'm seeing an hour and a half documentary on it. Now, again, this is my first documentary ever. I watched it 3-4 times. The same fucking day. And I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. And this is why this was so freaking important to me. Because it was, again, it was just a person I knew, a person that, see, Fousey without really being, without it being something that he wanted to do, is a porte-parole in French, is a role model or role figure of something called mental health, right? He's representing of a lot of people with mental health, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna be your voice. I'm gonna be your fucking voice, right? And people are like, okay, well, that's so nice to him, right? So when you have mental issues, the name Fousey comes up, which is a good thing because you can tell that if he was able to lose the weight, he does have some mental capacity. He is smart, right? So then he does that. And then, at first, I'm hearing his version, which is the premise, which is, and this is going to be very, very special. This is going to be very special. I'm hearing the premise of wanting to bring peace. And I'm like, wow, that's a cool fucking message, dude. You should be proud of yourself for that, right? But there's a couple of things that comes in. Now, the couple of things that comes in are super important. A lot of people that I don't fucking know. I don't know who Sam Pepper is. I don't know who Shane Dawson is. I know. I know who Keemstar is because, again, those guys I was listening to a lot of AGP, right? And AGP was Michael Green, and Michael Green was a close friend of Keemstar, so he talked about Jabba Alert a lot. There you go, killed a mosquito. I knew I was feeling something and I didn't know where, till it stuck his teeth in me. So yeah, so this was low-key, high-key important. I don't know who these people are, so I'm kind of rooting for Fousey. I'm like, you guys are such asshole. What he's doing is actually pretty nice, and you're fucking it up by being assholes to him. Right? Now, the reality is Fousey was the asshole. Fousey was the asshole not because he wanted to, because he was in a manic episode. The manic episode was, you want to do good, but at the same time you need to be stopped. You need to be stopped, right? Even the premise in itself, promoting his song, which is a diss track about Rice Gum, which at the time is the king of diss track. You're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? And then I'm watching the documentary, and I feel so fucking bad because they reveal that what happened was Fousey had a show, and the show barely got people to go. He got like, I think he got like 1,000 or 3,000 or 2,000 people to go to his event, which again I want you guys to remember, Fousey is a big name. Fousey being a big name should get more views than just that. Something, I'm not gonna say what, went wrong. Now, if I was to say what's wrong, non-consistency. You have people that are grinding. You have people like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, which at that time are fucking fighting KSI and Deji. They're doing some huge shit. You know? You see the difference? Fousey, which again is a compliment. Fousey was a good friend of Roman Atwood. Roman Atwood did something completely different. Completely different. He took a step back, started a podcast, included his kids and the thing. Like, I'm just a cool dad. Fusi was like, no, I'm gonna continue. I want to be the biggest fucking star. And yeah, the Manic episode. Now, the Fusi thing, we're gonna get into that right now. I think it's phenomenal. So first of all, the event. Fusi did an event. Okay, so what went wrong? I'm gonna tell you what went wrong, but at the same time, I'm gonna tell you, do we go positive? Do we go positive first? We'll go positive first. The idea behind it was really good. The idea behind it was like, I want us to do a free show to stop all hate, which is really fucking good. We love that, right? At the same time, he was gonna have artists, and I'm talking about big artists. Now, he was talking about Drake. Oh, I'm gonna get Drake, I'm gonna get Drake, I'm gonna get Drake. Of course, he wasn't gonna get Drake. He never met Drake. However, one of those guys, fucking Mosquito City, right? One of those guys was whom? Was Dax. Dax wasn't popular back then. And now, it's just huge. To me, Dax is as big as Tom McDonald, right? They're both super big artists. So with Dax being there, it's kind of like a cool thing. Then he has this venue, which is a Greek theater, which is again super important to me because my favorite movie is Get Into the Greek with Jonah Hill and Russell Brand. One of my favorite movies. I think this movie is hilarious, but also very meaningful. So I'm like, holy shit, this is something. Now, what went wrong? Fusi kind of saw too big. He was too stressed. He thought it was going to be the most of the year. Fusi's biggest flaw, the biggest mistake that he did, he was late. He was late. This is supposed to be meaning the world to you, and you come in like an hour late. You know? You have a person like Tana who does the TanaCon, right? TanaCon, and I was young. Tana was young. She made mistakes. It happens. Fusi had a team behind him. He had people behind him, right? And then at the same time, the July 15th, what went even worse is that he had a person called Keemstar. And I'm not a protector of Keemstar. Oh, are you kidding me? Dude, the phone was up for a couple seconds. Already too hot. What in the fuck? So Keemstar, do I like Keemstar? No. Okay, so do I like Keemstar? By principle, no. By principle, Drama Alert it's super convoluted. Drama Alert is actually a great show. It's a great thing. So it was a lot of bullshit. Okay. But it gave YouTube a news station, which it didn't have. It gave YouTube credibility, which they didn't have. And a part of YouTube growing, there was Keemstar. A lot of content creator, one part of YouTube growth. I love Casey Neistat. What do they do for YouTube? I love Epic Meal Time. Are they still on YouTube, you know? Fusima, the only one that's still there. So Keemstar also is one of the only ones that's still there. So then what happened is Keemstar goes in, and Keemstar and Fusi have history because Keemstar don't like Fusi and Fusi don't like Keemstar, so they have history. Now Fusi did the worst thing ever. Now this could be Manic episode, right, which is shifting the blame, which is I believe I'm I believe I have the delusion of grandeur. So if I have the delusion of grandeur that everything I'm doing is right, everything, listen to this, I have this delusion of grandeur which puts me above everybody else, which means that everything I'm doing is right. You understand that, right? Yeah. So he shifted the blame upon Keemstar, and he tells Keemstar, you bully me, you bully me, you bully me. And then he said the biggest meme, sadly, you make me want to kill myself, which is horrible. And I don't wish that upon everybody. But at the same time, your show is about love and peace. You have the biggest chance of taking your biggest hater, which is Keemstar, and saying, I forgive you, brother. And you don't do it. Was Keemstar wrong? Yes. Yes. Was Fousey wrong that day? Yes. Yes. See, Keemstar documented the whole thing. Now, Keemstar documented the whole thing. Oh, and I'm so sorry. Why I don't dislike Keemstar as much as I should. See, for Keemstar, for what he did, was wrong. The whole thing with HGH3, Keemstar went kind of a bit too far. You know? Well, I like Keemstar. Keemstar did a lot for a small content creator. People were calling him, saying, dude, I have this problem, can you help me out? Keemstar, which wasn't employees of YouTube, would help people more than the employees of YouTube, which is wrong. Keemstar also has a museum of YouTube. He has a lot of golden plaque. He cares about this. He cares about it. Is Keemstar morally wrong? I don't think so. I think he saw a job as an opportunity. How many journalists are fucking hated? Keemstar was a journalist. Was Keemstar the best human being of the year? No. But you know what? Keemstar might have not cared about the beef or drama he was creating. They care about the website, care about the platform. And then you have people that are super nice human beings, but don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. I'd rather have an asshole that cares than a good guy that don't care. I'm sorry. So was Keemstar right? I think he was right. But in this moment, this is the important part about the July 15th. This is the important part about the July 15th. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about who make, and this is gonna be a super expression that I'm of course stealing, but it makes a lot of sense in this one. Was Keemstar wrong? Yes. Was Fousey wrong? Yes. So why do I think Fousey was more wrong? Because Fousey made the biggest ripple. So you have this puddle, right? This puddle. And you tell the kid, don't jump in it. Do not jump in it. Right? The first kid jumps in it. My apologies. Right? The second kid, he's nowhere to be found. He comes back and he has rain boots. And he has a fucking poncho. Like a rain poncho. And he jumps in the water. Now there's two kids. They both disobey. One of them is dripping wet from head to toes. The other one is dry. Who's you more mad about? The kid that is wet, of course. That's just a simple matter of facto. Fousey did the biggest ripple. Right? And it sucked. Because the moments, and the problem with the event wasn't the bomb threat. So what happened is there's a bomb threat. So people say that Fousey did it because Fousey saw that the event was going to be a failure. Because not a lot of people showed up. Because what happened is a lot of people didn't believe that it was true. They didn't show up. Right? So then Fousey saw it was a failure. And a lot of people said, like I said, he went to Australia. He saw that he was one of the biggest YouTubers at one point. And then he had a problem filling up a showroom. He was afraid of that, so he called him the bomb threat itself. Do I think he did it? It's complex. I think it's very complex. He invited people that were hating him. And you can actually say that the people that were hating him could have done it, right? What I think happened is that Fousey freaked out. And he's like, I have to stop this. I don't know how I'm going to stop this. I have to stop this. And I think that one of his people calling the bomb threat. And then one of his people was like, yo, Fousey won't know that I called. So Fousey will blame people that he hates before he blames me. Now the problem is, again, if Fousey start talking to people saying, you called in the bomb threat, bro, which is not true. So Fousey once again looks crazy. And his whole message of peace is nonsensical. The truth is, even though it wasn't as big as he wanted, it was still a show. It was still a success. wasn't the success that you wanted, but it's still a success. You just didn't allow it to completely bloom. That's a problem. That's a mistake. Okay, first of all. Second of all, which is also super, super, super important, is that he went on an interview and he did like 2 weeks of interview. And he was like, yo, what happened there was destroying. This is fucking awful. And then what did Fousey did? Disappeared. Was Fousey Khan the worst thing to ever happen on YouTube? No. Was it close to being the worst thing on YouTube? No. But it destroyed the person. And then Fousey came back years later. And he went on IRL stream. And another one. And he went on a rampage. IRL. Unkicked. For sure an asshole. He did some horrible thing. I think Fousey became a villain. Right? And then once again, everything that he did right now, and right now, the problem with Fousey is exactly what's going on right now. Last year was one of the most popular content creators because every single day he did something crazy. He did something crazy. And then he realized how much wrong he's done. So what he did was he went on the weight loss journey. And he lost a lot of weight. And what happened with that is that now he's doing motivational content. And it's always this highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows. But the principles stay the same. Like it or not, the 15th of July will always be a date in social media history that has to do with that. Can you name me something else that happened the 15th of July? No. So this is it. This is my perception of the thing. I don't have an opinion because it was so long ago, right? And whatever I say is completely meaningless because it's something that happened so long ago. But at the same time, I think it's kind of important because knowing the history. See, I was talking about how Keemstar was rightfully and saying that he I meant it when I said that Keemstar was rightfully so when he started doing the museum because nobody else did it. Nobody else did it. And when you go to a museum, it's one of the things in the museum, and I'm sorry to say, nobody cares about. Right? But it still happened. 15th of July still happened. I think the whole thing is pretty sad. Because the intention were good. But at the same time, you can have the best intention. If you change nothing, if you say tomorrow, oh, I'm going to change the world, and you don't do it, then they say that. They say intention. And intention can only buy you a good... I think the real question isn't that. I think the real question is if Fousey wasn't manic, would he if Fousey wasn't manic, would he have done that? Would he have done the whole show? I don't know. My problem also with Fousey, and to finish that, because it's already a long video, my biggest problem with Fousey is people like Adam Saleh, people like Tyler Perry. It's people like Roman Atwood. People like Vitaly. Vitaly's an asshole. Don't get me wrong, he's an asshole. But all of these people, at one point or the other, worked with Fousey. And at one point or the other, they broke their relationship, they broke the friendship with Fousey. See, if you're a room full of people, and a couple of people say you're an asshole, it's not a big deal. If you're a room full of people and the whole room is saying that you're an asshole, you're an asshole. You know? And then at the same time, I felt so bad because the first thing that he did after that, and again, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul at all. That's not true. That's not true. I was a fan of his vlogs. I thought it was funny. Yeah. It was cringe, but it was funny also. They did all those scams. The forest, horrible. The scam, worse. Like, fuck you. But the first thing that Fousey did after the whole thing, he came back after a year and did a podcast with Logan Paul. And then Logan let something slip that is important. He let something slip that was important. Fousey was the one that asked or offered to do an interview. So he kind of used the platform of Logan Paul. Then Bradley Martin, who has the podcast of Raw Talk, said the same thing. Fousey was the one that said something. I always have the problem with self-promotion. I always have the problem with someone asking to be on your podcast. If I'm inviting you, I'm inviting you. Now, of course, there's another thing where, for example, there's this big star, and they're saying, hey, they're a fan of you, and they're the agent. Say, oh, they're a fan of you, and if you went to invite them, you'd be open to, you know. Right, again, I've been building my channel for 4 years. People have used me, people have did that. And nobody hates it. Nobody likes a user. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Choo choo. Choo choo. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da. Ba-ba. Ba-ba. Ba-ba-da. Da-da. Da-da-da. Do-do-do-do. What? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now, history. Mine on the video. History. Okay. Perfect. Up view. Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to the show. Because doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 15 July 2025. We'll be doing a quick video because we don't have a lot of batteries left. So let's start right away. Today is the 15th. Today, YouTube is going to install this new policy for AI content and bulk produce content. We did a reaction to this already. This is my second reaction to it. But the reason why we're doing two reactions is I never saw this as gaming. I thought about it for the main channel, but never for the gaming channel. And I gotta say, your boy was wrong. This can heavily impact the gaming side of things. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be reading the article. It's a short article, and then I'm going to be talking about it. Right? So this is the gaming video. The website is Insurance Kabar. YouTube rule to change from July 15 will affect this creator outcome. Online video streaming platform YouTube is changing its monetization policy. The revised policy will come into effect from July 15th, which is today, which is about the YouTube Partner Program. Currently, user can see the same kind of content when they open YouTube. YouTube is going to just update to change it. So this I already read it, but it's okay. YouTube is tightening its partner program rule from July 15. Under the new rule, advertising revenue of large-scale fucking mosquito reduced repeating and authentic content will be reduced. However, the company has not changed the condition for channel monetization. Now, users should have more than 1,000 subscribers to monetize the channel. There you go. So 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours, or it's like 1 million for shorts. Apart from this, the channel should have 4,000 public watch hours in 12 months, or 10 million short views in 90 days. Whoa, that's insane. That is insane, guys. I have a hard time having 100 views. The user content should also be original and authentic. YouTube is bringing this update to reduce the number of spam and AI content and promote original content. While the content creator who missed this update is getting a good number, it may face monetization. In the event of AI technology, YouTube has been flooded with such content. Yeah. So again, we're gonna be reading the article. It's too cold. It's too hot. Fuck. God damn. And then we'll really talk about it. I'll take my time. I have 8% batteries. Let's use 8% batteries. According to the company, these low-quality media of content are being generated with the help of AI. For example, the user will easily get an AI voiceover or photo or AI voiceover type content on YouTube in the video clips. There are also many channels that have added millions of subscribers by generating content. These videos are generated with the help of AI, presented in a fundamental way. YouTube is bringing policy updating regarding such content. Quoting, I'm sorry, I'm tired. This is my last video of the day, though. This is a small update. However, it will affect those who create bold content with the help of AI. And this is basically it. Okay. So, what is my... I strongly recommend seeing the first video because I go in details. But I'll recap here. What is my view on AI? Well, I do think that it's a cool thing because I was dead against it because I was like, oh my god, this is not interesting. This is unauthentic. This is boring. However, all it took me to change my mind was a couple of good AI video. That's all it took me. And one of them was the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch was AI, and he's like fucking around with campers and like, oh, I found this bag of white powder, stuff like that, which is really funny. So I started really liking those videos, and I saw that even though it was AI, it was still creative. So my mindset about it changed. I saw my friend who used AI for a video and said, yo, it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of program that I used. And dude, you may not understand how it works, but I'm telling you, trust me, it's hard work. And I trust him. So I'm like, okay. And then at the same time, if a person, when I started making content, I was just streaming. You didn't see my face. I didn't talk to you guys like that. It was 4 years ago. So then, of course, by streaming, I got enough confidence to talk to you guys in real time. But without the streaming, you wouldn't see me. Invenda wouldn't be real. It would be a concept that died at the cradle. I've been filming for 2 hours. Your boy is tired. So yes, so absolutely. And then this is really important in itself because this is the perception that I have. I was lucky enough to get the confidence to do some content. Most people will give up before they get the confidence. But if it wasn't for the streaming, I wouldn't be doing it. So I don't know about people using AI or bold content or remix or small video to get the confidence up, right? This is my original point of view. Like, original content should be pushed more than AI, of course. But the hard work is hard work. It should be rewarded. Now for gaming, this is more complex. So for example, right, you have this person that's really shy but actually really good at gaming. We'll talk about introverted, okay? And he goes in and he beats Millennia, he beats Sekiro with a challenge run. He beats some really hard gameplay, or he does some Mario 64 speed run. Some really tough stuff, right? But then what happened is the guy didn't talk. He's not a talker, he's a gamer. He doesn't want to talk. Is it original content? Is it original content? That's the question. What does it mean to be original when you're making a game? Because technically speaking, you're playing a game that's already made. So the effort of making the game it yourself are non-existent. They're not existent. Does it automatically make you lazy and unoriginal? I don't think so. So for gaming, it's a huge thing. Or you see the streamer, right? And you clip. They did a 24-hour stream, and you clip this. Is it hard work? Technically, no. You just clipped it, but you were there for the whole time, and you clipped the best moment, right? And that's hard work. So this originality, this is complex, because you're starting from a point of, well, I don't know what's original and what's not original, and to a point where there's that nothing is considered original anymore, right? That's a really hard thing. It's a really freaking hard thing. You take a game, one of the oldest game in the world, well, not in the world, but one of the most popular game in the world, Pokemon, right? And then, for example, you take the first generation, okay? And then you release it, and then people play it, and you're actually quite good at Pokemon. You're so good that you do challenge run. So for example, I'm only gonna take one Pokemon, and I'm gonna do a challenge run. So because I'm only doing one Pokemon, right, I am doing something challenging and something original. Now, for example, right, we know in Pokemon, there's tree starter. There are tree starters. So you go with the tree starters and you do it. But then you realize that 14 other content creators did the same thing. This becomes unoriginal. You know? It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. You play Fortnite. You gotta win with one weapon. It's your favorite weapon. You use it every single day. And then, like, fuck, I cannot use it because it's not original. So this is really problematic. More so for the gaming than the non-gaming. I'm gonna have to go on at 3% batteries. I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Oh. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. It's getting hot in here. So take off. Okay, I'm tired. Sheesh. 1%.